Welcome back to another week of yTeam Stories. My name is Lucy and I'm thrilled to be interviewing the amazing, incredible Jo Collins this week. Round of applause. I'm just imagining the cheers in the background, Jo. I'm actually super psyched to be interviewing Jo today. Not many people know this, but our cousins are actually married. So I do feel a very familial connection with Jo, and I know that he's an incredible guy doing incredible stuff. So we are really excited to introduce him to yTeam Stories today. So, Jo, can you please just give us a bit of an introduction to who you are, how you met Wylie, maybe what school you went to as well, and then we'll get into it.
Yep, easy done. Well, g'day everyone. My name's Jo, and I come from a small town called Woomelang, or you might meet as Jo from Sea Lake, up in the northwest region, in the Mallee of Victoria. I went to school at Tyrrell College and graduated in 2017, and that's the year I first met yLead at conference in Melbourne, and then I've had a pretty cool run with yLead ever since then. I then attended schoolies in 2017 and went to New Zealand, and then the next event I attended was yConnect in 2018, so I sort of like did probably 3 of the best yLead events in a row, and then ever since yConnect I've been chucking on the blue top where I can, and absolutely privileged to be involved. And at the moment I'm currently studying in my 3rd year of a Bachelor of Agriculture and Technology at La Trobe/Melbourne Polytechnic down in Melbourne.
Awesome. Thanks, Jo. And for those that don't know you too well, how would you describe yourself in 3 words?
3 words, I would say honest, organised, and determined, committed.
Yeah, great. That's you to a T as well. I love that you took the time to think about that. That was so great. All right. This question is great, particularly because I know you live in a really cool area. So if you were to imagine you're a tour guide for the day in your hometown, and you get to take us to wherever you like, and you get to get us to do whatever you think would be great in the town, where would you take us and what would we do?
This is a great question, because tourism is like one of my little side hustles that I adore. So we probably start off by having breakfast, like 3-course meal breakfast kind of thing up at the Salt Lake. And then we were like heading to Sea Lake and check out the silos there. And then we'd head up to Patchy, check those silos, to Lascelles, those silos, come into Woomelang, and I'd show you the new silos we just had done, and check out some cool little quirks. And then we'd head south down to that end of our shire and check out all those silos and museums. And then we'd probably finish up back at Sea Lake for a really good night, really good meal at the Duke restaurant, and then lay our hair down at the Sea Lake Royal Hotel. I think we'd have an absolutely cracker of a time. So if you want to come up and do that, please let me know. I'm more than happy to do that.
Yeah, I'm sold. I'm ready. I'm coming. I'm on a plane right now. So
please do.
I think you're the only person that would take people around to see silos in their town. Like, that's the best part about it, I reckon. My next question for you is, what is a lesson that you are currently learning or processing?
With the whole coronavirus situation that come about, I suppose, and lockdown, it's been really it's quite confronting, I suppose. I sort of, at the very start, I was really shocked because it was like just me, myself and I, like all my emotions, my feelings. I'm pretty active outside of like my life, I guess, like my personal self. And so I sort of realised come lockdown, when we couldn't do anything, that I was like, I keep myself extremely busy purely so I don't have to sit down and like talk to myself and like check in with how I'm going. And so the whole lockdown coronavirus thing was like a real shock to my system, because I was like really confused with, I guess, the fact that I had some time to like try and listen to myself. And so I guess this whole, something that I'm learning at the moment is like, one, keeping busy and like organized, but I guess also like prioritizing that self-love, self-development, self-worth. There's been a lot of like, I really struggle with like, everyone says, oh Jo, you're really good at doing this, or like you're an incredible human being, but personally I really don't see it. Like I must admit, I I don't value myself very highly whatsoever. So yeah, it's a lesson I'm trying to like master, but is purely just trying to love myself, I suppose. So yeah, it's been a big lockdown period.
That's cool, and thank you for being so open about that, because I know that that's something that I think a lot of people have been grappling with during ISO and probably will continue to in the next few months as well. Do you have any tips for people that might be just sort of moving into that space of personal self-love, how you can kind of make that switch in your brain, or things that you do for you to try and value yourself more?
Yeah, it's a tricky one, because I guess I probably haven't mastered it either. Like I say, I try and like give myself some time, but the last few weeks have been pretty hectic here. So classic Joe move. But no, I think it's really just about slowing down, taking away the guilt from it, I suppose. I think that's a massive thing. Like I always feel guilty if I'm like just giving myself a day watching Netflix or something, but like if that's what you need, that's what you need. And I think like as a society, we're becoming a lot more aware and accepting of those sort of like circumstances when, like, you know, if someone's not well or not feeling themselves and they need a day to themselves, then they're more than entitled to have that. So I think just remove the guilt from it, and prioritize and look after yourself, and one step at a time, because it doesn't happen as a click of your fingers. Like it's not that instant. So you'll get there.
Such good advice. I love it. What is something that made you laugh this week?
I've laughed a fair bit at, there's a bit of TV media and Facebook media going about with this Asylum Art project we've achieved in Woomelang, and I utterly hate watching myself back, which I think a lot of people do. And so I did this long as take with the ABC last week, like long, because I was uncomfortable. I don't like doing the TV stuff. And then they rang me and they were like, oh, we have to come back and redo it because you're out of focus the whole time. So I was gutted. And so the second time they realised that I spoke too long the first time. And so there was, thank God it was just the filmer, but literally her and I were just in tears of laughter because I could not get any lines right whatsoever. Like I was like, oh, I'm from Mallee, Woomelang, and it was so embarrassing, and we were laughing so much at that. So if I could get that B-roll footage for the yTeam, I will, and I'll let you know, because it was a mess, but I was laughing a lot. So
I was gonna say, where can we access this footage? I would love to see it. I think that would be hilarious. All right, next question is, what is something that you must accomplish in the next 2 years, and why?
In the next 2 years, I suppose I am signed up to do Kokoda, which is now in April next year, so I'd really love to tick that off. And then in that 2 years, I suppose I'd really like to, I don't know if it's like an achievement, but I really want to have like a gap year kind of thing, a year to just do what I want to do kind of thing, and work out what I want to do, and spend more time volunteering with yLead, and traveling north up to Darwin and checking out those remote communities up there, and just working at the pub and helping out the tourism side in Sea Lake and Woomelang. So just those things that aren't like I'm not like bound to, just really exploring and enjoying all of those without feeling guilty for doing those, I guess, while studying full time kind of thing. So like a gap year, a Kokoda I'd love to tick off in 2 years.
Am I sensing maybe a Wylie Darwin road trip? I'm down for that. If you're down for that, please get in contact with Joe. Sounds like he's the man to go and see about it. If you were in a packet of Wylie Textures, right, and you had to pick which colour you were, pretend it's a full packet, not like a broken up packet, like it's got all the colours, all the range, which colour would you be?
So you know how there's like there's greens and there's like multiple greens? There's like the really high fluoro one. Sorry, I'm not about that. And then there's like the really dark green, not about that, but there's like two in the middle. There's like sort of a forest green and like almost like a bluish green. Like it's like, I'd nearly say like a light emerald green or native green. Native, let's call it native, because I'm about natives. I'm that native green.
Like
you know what I'm talking about? Yeah, that green, perfectly.
I have it ready to go.
You're all over me. You knew exactly. Like my jumper, really. Like it's my favourite green. So yeah. We're
going to move into a fast 5 round. Okay, so literally 5 questions. first thing that comes to your head, you're going to answer straight away. All right? So, do you like fun trivia music?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Favorite food?
Citrus tart.
Whoa, citrus tart. That's very off the scale that I was thinking about, but citrus tart, I'm about it. Favorite destination?
Uluru.
Yeah, great. I definitely thought you were going to say Woomelang, but I love Uluru.
Oh.
Great.
Yeah.
Favorite band or artist?
I have a soft spot for Jessica Malboy.
Right.
Or ABBA, either either.
That's the best part of this interview. Oh, soft spot for Jessica Malboy. She's great. I did watch the Sapphires the other week, and I thought I was reminded of how good she is. Yeah. Favorite movie?
Well, you mentioned it, but I'll say another one. I really love Australia with Nicole Kidman and Hugh Jackman, and it's just a classic.
I haven't seen it. I need to watch it. Put it on my list. Love it. Favorite
At
colour?
least favorite colour is definitely like a green, like an emerald native green. Again, boring, but it's me.
No, that's amazing. I like it. I feel like we got a good representation of who you are just then.
Yeah.
Perfect. Perfect. Joe, to finish us off today, I wanted to ask you about something that you've mentioned a few times across this interview. Something that's really important to you is your local community and serving your local community. So are you able to just go into a bit more detail about what specifically you do in your local sort of shire, and then the reasons why you do that, why it's so important to you?
Let's give you the background story. 2016 was the year, so I would have been 17, and there was a little bit of classic small town politics going on at the time, where the people in charge of what's called the Woomelang and District Development Association, or the WDDA, the people in charge were a bit mean, bossy, pushing people around, and I'm not about that. So I, at the brave age of 17, was like, nah, screw that, we can't have this type of leadership. So jumped on board as vice president. They wouldn't let me go in as president because they reckon I was too young. So vice president, have been there ever since. And have really sort of like, it's been a pleasure, I guess, to change things up and make it like a really wholesome community group. And yeah, we've done some pretty cool things. So that group is in charge of, pretty much in its name, developing Woomelang, to keep it up to date with, the community's needs, I suppose. So and we're like the advisory group for the Shire in regards to what our local Shire needs to do for Woomelang. And we just finished a project called Endangered Species of the Mallee Art Project, which was a massive art installation of there was 8 new murals, so we've already got 1 done, so 9 all up, but there's 10 animals all up, so we're just keeping the numbers not the same, but we only had 7 artists, so that was an awesome project to tick off. It's like, you would have heard, I hope you've heard of the large silo art trail that is now all the way through Australia, and so that's on big silos, and we've painted on what we call small silos, or a field bin, and it's like miniature portable versions of that grain storage. So we're the first in Australia to tick something off like that and focus on endangered animals from the Mallee region, not just Woomelang. That's another little fun story, but it's absolute privilege to be on a group like that and do things like that. The whole coronavirus thing has definitely like shone a light on, I've definitely like questioned why I'm involved, and like it's a lot of like, it's a volunteer thing. You give up a lot of time for it. It's quite confronting. I get really like worked up about it because like people our age, loose, don't seem to like realise that these small towns out here, like the people in it, that's all there is. And like there's no, like for example, just before Anzac Day, I spent 3 days pruning the hedges at the cemetery, and like that to someone might sound like the most ridiculous thing ever, but everyone was busy sowing, there was no one else to do it, and it needed to be done, otherwise we were going to have really stocky and yucky stocky bushes. So I like went out there and like gave up my time and cleaned up the cemetery, and that's like a job that you think, oh, like why the hell's Joe doing that? But in small town, there's no such thing as a cemetery caretaker. It's a Lions Club, and that's full of volunteers too. So it's things like that where you're just like, oh, it's just something we have to do, but it's also extremely tiring, and you sort of wonder, it's great for the locals and the people that come back, but it isn't. Some of this stuff is nearly full-time jobs kind of thing, but you're fitting it in on top of what you're doing. So, but I love doing it. It's just inbred into my nature, I suppose. My grandfather and my pa, he's nearly on every single committee you could mention, and then my dad's the same, and then now me, and yeah, it's just puts out a love, I suppose. And yeah, it's one of those things that I like doing, because I hope that there's a town here for Woomelang, a town here for my kids and the future generations. Can't really come back to Woomelang after doing my gap year and all that travelling if there's not actually a town here. So yeah, it's really important that I guess I and the community look after our small towns, and ensuring that there's going to be something here into the future. What is community? I guess it's one of those things you have to ask yourself. And I really want to point out, I don't do it for the accolades or the for people to go, oh, Woomelang was built by Joe. That's no way, no. It's not the case at all. Woomelang is a gift to me, so it's a responsibility for me to look after it, pretty much.
I love hearing you talk about how passionate you are about your community. And when I think about, the yTeam community, that's another form of that community that you would have at home. And we all know how important it is to feel connected and feel really passionate about what we're doing. And I can see that in every time you talk about Woomelang and the role that you play there. And I love how humble you are and how you say, I just think I'm an ordinary guy doing ordinary stuff. But to a lot of people in the community and in our yTeam community, you've had such an amazing impact. So please know that we really value you, and that there's lots of people around the country that really value your impact as well. If there are people that want to get in contact with you, maybe they're really interested in the endangered species murals, or maybe they want to go to Darwin, how would they get in contact with you? Maybe Instagram, Facebook, what kind of platforms do you prefer?
Yeah, Facebook, Instagram, Joe Collins too, or if they really want to get on and just check out the town stuff, we have a Woomelang What's on Facebook page. That's literally Google that, it'll come up. So yeah, you'll see what's going on in town there. But yeah, just hit me up on my socials and I'll get back to you. Look forward to talking.
Thanks so much for giving up your time to be here with us today, Joe. Thank you guys for watching. Tune in next week for another yTeam story. See you later.